Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and welcome to the Acid Spray Only Challenge. In this challenge, I am trying to win games in the Great League, but the only charge move I can use is Acid Spray. Acid Spray, of course, does almost no damage, but does lower the opponent's defense by 2 stages. I have tried this challenge previously, but this marks the first time I was ever able to gain ELO while attempting it. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches, let's embrace our inner toxicity, and let's check out the Acid Spray Only Challenge in action. Hopping to the first match, leading Scrafty into Walrein, a very nice lead. But the opponent save switches it to Drapion, and honestly, I don't have a good response to Drapion on this team, especially because even though this Scrafty does have Power Up Punch, for the sake of the challenge, I cannot use that charge move. We are going for the Acid Spray. They take it, and I'm going to try and catch the Sludge Bomb. And we're able to catch the Sludge Bomb onto Tentacruel. That's absolutely massive. Now we don't have to expend a shield. Can Tentacruel farm down? Due to the lower defense, we are able to farm down. They bring back in Walrein, but honestly, Walrein does not have a great matchup here, as the Powder Snows are resisted, and they have to build all the way up to Earthquake to take us out, whereas in the meantime, we are just gonna keep debuffing them and ramping up these Poison Jabs to do more and more damage. Second Acid Spray lands, their defense is 4 stages debuffed, they're finally going to throw, and you know what? I'm gonna shield. We correctly shield the Earthquake, the final Pokemon is Sableye, and we should have this game. We're gonna Acid Spray, of course, only charge move we can throw, lower the defense, and then it's Shadow Victory Bell time. These Razor Leafs are absolutely tearing through the Sableye. We are gonna be able to farm down. Walrein is too low in the back. That gets farmed down as well, and that is a good game. All right, hopping to the next match. Leading Scrafty into Jellicent. Normally a pretty good lead, but without foul play, a terrible lead. The opponent save switches into Galvantula, and again, I have 0 good responses to Galvantula on the team. They go for the lunge, and I'm going for the Acid Spray, hoping that maybe they do think it's a foul play. I go for the Acid Spray, we get the shield, and now in comes Tentacruel. I'm really hoping that they lunge here. A lot of Galvantula users go straight lunge, but unfortunately they do discharge me. This is very rough, but I should be able to counter down thanks to the debuff. And now I hope they bring in their third and not the Jellicent. It'll all depend what the third is. And the third is a Charmalolan Ninetales, and we have a chance. Both of their remaining 2 Pokemon are incredibly weak to Shadow Victory Bell. We bring in the 2-shielded Shadow Victory Bell, and they bring in Jellicent. Jellicent is being absolutely destroyed by the Razor Leafs. I will commit the shield. They go for the Bubble Beam, a smart call to lower the amount of damage they're taking from the Razor Leafs. But unfortunately for them, I am at yet another Acid Spray. Acid Spray is going to be lowering that defense, and now it's a race of fast moves. Who is going to be able to win? And it looks like, thanks to that Acid Spray, we are going to be able to Razor Leaf down the Charmer, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading Scrafty into Azumarill. Absolutely terrible lead. We are going to throw 1 counter and then save switch into the Tentacruel since we do have 2 better responses in the back, and the opponent counter swaps into Amandabuzz. This is by no means a great matchup for Tentacruel, especially since we're not allowed to use Hydro Pump for the sake of this challenge, but baiting out the Mandibuzz means that the Shadow Victory Bell will not have to see it in the endgame, which is massive. We actually draw a shield on our first Acid Spray, and now we're going for Acid Spray number 2. We actually get both shields from the Mandibuzz, and now I am hopeful, because if we can leverage shield advantage, I'm hoping that Shadow Victory Bell will be able to sweep in the endgame. We're almost at the 3rd spray, and the threat of a 3rd spray forces the opponent to throw. They empty their energy, and now, due to their quad debuff defense, Scrafty is able to farm down. Azumarill comes back in, we bring in Shadow Victory Bell, but they have Hypno. This is absolutely terrible, as they have a hard counter, we get farmed down, and now it's all up to Scrafty. We do have 2 shields, but with no foul play, we have no way of getting rid of that Hypno quickly. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to counter it down without throwing an Acid Spray, so I'm going to have to throw the Acid Spray, try and counter down, and then hope that with 2 shields, counter, and a lot of Acid Sprays, we're able to take out the Azumarill. Able to farm down, back in comes Azu, we're going for the Acid Spray. This, of course, is going to be able to land. They have no shields left, but it's such a low damage move, and Azumarill is exceedingly bulky. We are going for Acid Spray number 2. Their defense is lowered. This will be doing more damage, gets them below half. Can we get to the third Acid Spray? Come on, Scrafty. We're able to get to the third Acid Spray. Is this going to be enough to KO? It does not, and we get farmed down. So incredibly close to overcoming the hard counter, but no such luck. Picking up a fantastic lead in the next match, Scrafty into Galarian Stunfisk. And even better, they're staying in, which hopefully means they're probably weak in the back. Unfortunately, we do get baited with a Rock Slide, which means they are going to be able to land the Earthquake, as I really don't want to leave my Shadow Victory Bell without shields. We do tank the Earthquake, we farm down, and we leave with a ton of energy. They bring in Pelipper, I safe switch into the Tentacruel, and the final Pokemon is Sableye. So they were ABA weak to Scrafty's traditional moveset, and now that we have baited out the Sableye, we should be in a pretty good spot. We're able to debuff them with an Acid Spray, and from here, since we have 2 Acid Sprays loaded, all we have to do is make sure to kill the Sableye, double Acid Spray the Pelipper, then we should be in a commanding position to close this match. We Acid Spray again, the opponent gets worried about another Acid Spray, and they empty the energy. As you can see, those poison jabs were adding up. In comes the Pelipper, we bring in Scrafty, and we're about to make this Pelipper miserable. First Acid Spray gets shielded. Second Acid Spray doesn't get shielded. Yes, it does. And now their defense is quad debuffed. These Razor Leafs absolutely shred through Pelipper. We're going to be able to farm down, and that is a good game. Picking up a fantastic lead in the next match, Scrafty into Obstagoon. But then the opponent safe switches into Shadow Nidoqueen, and suddenly things are looking dire. My team doesn't really have a good response to Nidoqueen. My best bet is going to be to tank the Poison Fang, debuff them with Acid Spray, and then attempt to Razor Leaf down with the Shadow Victory Bell. We debuff, we bring in the Victory Bell, but unfortunately they're able to reach a move. I'm a little scared that a Poison Fang plus a Poison Jab may KO, so I do decide to commit the shield. I'm hoping they bring back in the Obstagoon, as Victory Bell has a pretty nice matchup, but the opponent wisely brings in their third, and they decide to throw the Seed Bomb, so I'm not able to land a charge move on them. Seed Bomb, even when double resisted, will take me out, and now in comes Tentacruel. They switch out and they bring back in Obstagoon. And this is a little scary. I'm down on shields, but also my Scrafty had to take a lot of damage from the Nidoqueen, so counter will actually be getting Scrafty quite low. So I am going to tank the first move. I'm going to try and bank an Acid Spray. We bring in Scrafty, and we're able to counter down. They bring in Trevenant. They don't want to get hit with a move, so they are going to be throwing right away. Now this is going to be tough. We do have the Acid Spray loaded, so the question is, can we farm them down before they get to 2 Seed Bombs? This is going to be very close. They commit the shield. Are we going to be able to get there? Tentacruel able to farm down. We are able to survive the Nidoqueen, and that is a good game. Shadow Swampert on the lead in the next match is a pretty scary thought. We are able to catch the Hydro Cannon onto Tentacruel, which is pretty nice. I really want them to swap out, but unfortunately they realize that this is still a pretty good matchup for Shadow Swampert. They're going for a second Hydro Cannon. That gets us quite low. We are going for the Acid Spray, and then the opponent finally does switch out into Shadow Skuntank. I am thrilled to be able to bait this out. We are going to be able to debuff them, which is quite nice with the Acid Spray. I'm going to wait my switch clock, and then we're going to commence a very aggressive counter down with Scrafty. Unfortunately, either Sludge Bomb or Flamethrower would do quite a bit of damage, so I am going to have to commit the shield. They have Flamethrower. Can we farm down before they get to 2? Yes, we are able to do so, and we leave with quite a bit of energy loaded for whatever decides to come in. Is it the Swampert? It is not. It is Alolan Ninetales. If this is Charm A9, we can fully sweep them in the back. And it's Charm A9. We're going to go for the double Acid Sprays and then Razor Leaf everything down. In comes Shadow Victory Bell. Opponent sees the writing on the wall and concedes the match. Hopping to the next match, leading Scrafty into Lickitung, a very nice lead. The opponent save switches into Skarmory, and Skarmory, like Nidoqueen, is a massive problem for this team. The best way I have to beat Skarmory is to stay in, shield with the Scrafty, Acid Spray, and try and do as much counter damage as possible. I am going to shield the first. Thankfully, because of that Acid Spray, these counters are really starting to add up, and we are beginning to get Skarmory quite low. Skarmory actually shields an Acid Spray, and at this point, I'm thinking I may be able to Poison Jab down with Tentacruel. So I am going to let that go. We bring in Tentacruel, going for the farm down. The opponent recognizes their switch clock is up, and they preserve Skarmory in the back. This is a little rough, because I, of course, have Shadow Victory Bell in the back. I thought about catching the Power Whip here. Unfortunately, my timing was not on, and I was not able to catch. They go for the Power Whip, and now I bring in Shadow Victory Bell. I am going to have to commit a shield, as Body Slam would be doing quite a bit of damage, but we should be able to farm down after that. And the question is, will Skarmory be able to reach a move before we farm them down? We know the Skarmory is coming back in. They are waiting the switch clock. Back in comes Skarmory. Shadow Victory Bell able to farm down. And the final Pokemon is a Azumarill. We are going to be able to go for the Acid Spray. Acid Spray is going to be lowering that defense. They have no way to reset the debuff. Opponent sees the writing on the wall. Second time in 2 matches and concedes the match. Picking up an incredible lead in the next match, Scrafty into Bastiodon. The opponent save switches into Trevenant, which is honestly a bit of a problem spot for this team as well. Normally, Scrafty would be able to handle it with Foul Play, but again, we only have Acid Spray. We land the Acid Spray, and now we're going to bring in Shadow Victory Bell. I should be able to Razor Leaf down before they reach 2 moves, which is quite nice. I thought they were at the Shadow Ball, but apparently they only made it to the Seed Bomb, so very poor counting by me. Bastiodon will come back in and probably commit to the farm down, but the good news is that energy won't be particularly useful against Scrafty, since Scrafty has an incredibly commanding matchup against the notoriously inflexible Bastiodon. I am going to wait the switch clock just so our switch clocks are back in sync. We bring in Scrafty, and the opponent decides to throw. I am going to let this go. I want to save the shield. They go for the Flamethrower. The final Pokemon is Shadow Victory Bell, and we bring in Tentacruel. The Poison Jabs are absolutely chunking the Shadow Victory Bell, but in return, the Razor Leafs are chunking us. We outpace, we get to the Acid Spray first, we are farming down, and it's looking very even. The best case would be a simultaneous KO. They go for their own Acid Spray, we simultaneously KO, and from here, Scrafty counters down the Bastiodon, taking care of the grass hole, and that is a good game. This time we are picking up Trevenant on the lead. Again, still not the best for me as I don't have Foul Play. We are going to let the first Seed Bomb through. Scrafty can easily tank that, and then we are going to be going for the Acid Spray. Foul Play would do quite a bit of damage, so we may see the shield here. We do see the shield, and now we're going to bring in Tentacruel. They do throw a move. I should survive a Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb will do a solid chunk of damage, but we do survive it. And now they bring in Walrein. Walrein is a very interesting counter swap into Tentacruel because their fast moves are resisted and so is Icicle Spear, so they have to farm all the way up to an Earthquake in order to be able to take us out in one charge move. We go for the second Acid Spray. That is starting to get them quite low, and at this point, I'm more than willing to let myself go down. They bait with the Icicle Spear, we call it, and then they go for the second Icicle Spear. The opponent actually let themselves get low to minimize the amount of farm from Scrafty. Pretty nice play there. So we know they have Trevenant. We've seen the Walrein. What is the third? They bring back in Trevenant. We bring in Shadow Victory Bell, and they have Bastiodon. Now this is pretty scary because, again, we can't use Leaf Blade. If we had Leaf Blade, this would be a better matchup. We are just forced to go for the Acid Spray. Acid Spray is going to be doing nothing to Bastiodon. We are able to do some extra Razor Leaf damage, which is very nice. We bring back in Scrafty, and at this point, I'm going to try and save 2 shields. The opponent goes for a Stone Edge here. Flamethrower is definitely the way to go in neutral situations. And now I'm going to try and force them to Shadow Claw down a Dark type. We are going to spam out these Acid Sprays and attempt to counter down a Ghost type. So it is going to be the battle of the resisted moves. We are going for the Acid Spray. Acid Spray lands. They correctly no-shield the first one. This is getting very close. We sneak through a counter as they throw. Come on. Scrafty, can you clutch this? Going for the Acid Spray. This is going to be so close. They will be shielding up this one. Are we going to be able to counter them down? And it's a tie. Incredibly close. Hopping to the final match, leading Scrafty into the mirror. In this matchup, I will try and catch a power-up punch onto Tentacruel, which we are able to do. This gives us an energy lead for later in the match, and effectively wastes their power-up punch. The opponent actually counter-swaps into their own Tentacruel, and this has me wondering, is this somehow a mirror line? They did throw a power-up punch, so they're clearly not Acid Spray only, but it's very funny. They are running a very similar team. They go for the Acid Spray from the Tentacruel as well. Unfortunately, again, I'm not able to use Hydro Pump. Hydro Pump would be a nice finishing move after you Acid Spray, but since I can't use it, we are just going for the Acid Spray. I'm more than willing to let this go down. They actually go for another Acid Spray, which works out pretty well for me. We reach Acid Spray number 3, and I'm hoping that we are going to be able to farm down before they get to another move, which we are just able to do. They bring in their third, and it's Nidoqueen, and suddenly things are looking very scary. As again, Nidoqueen is a massive core breaker for this team, and only being able to throw Acid Spray against a poison ground type is really not a good spot to be in. I am going to Acid Spray, we're going to switch in the Victory Bell, and hope they stay in. They are staying in. These Razor Leafs are doing some pretty big damage. I do need to shield up. This Poison Fang will be lowering my defense, and then they bring in Scrafty. Scrafty should only be able to reach one move here. I have to shield it up, even though it's probably going to just be a power-up punch. I want to try and preserve as much health as possible. We get farm down. We are very low. We are Acid Spraying to apply the debuff back onto the Nidoqueen. This is going to be very close. They shield up. They're able to farm us down. We're coming in with Scrafty. Scrafty gets the counter through. Are we going to be able to live the Poison Fang? This is going to be so close. Scrafty able to survive the Poison Fang. We take out the Nidoqueen, and the Acid Spray only squad able to get the job done. All in all, I had an absolute blast doing the Acid Spray only challenge. I'm quite happy. I have attempted it a few times in the past, but this is the first time I was actually able to gain ELO while doing the challenge, ending up with a record of 16 wins, 13 losses, and 1 tie. I will caution, this is definitely more of a team for fun than for climbing rank, but the fact that I was able to go positive in spite of that, well, that's pretty cool. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And we have finally released merch. I will have a link to our merch store in the top of the description. Definitely go check it out. We've got some really cool stuff in there, and I will include the design on screen. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.